Good morning, I'm ready.
All righty, where it's on you, Miss Clerk, is your roll call.
Alderman Balmer,
Present.
Alderwoman Tyus, Alderwoman Switzer,
Present.
Alderwoman Sanye,
Present.
Chairwoman Boyd.
Present.
4 present, you have quorum.
Okay, thank you. I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes for Thursday, May 16th.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Alderman Balmer,
Aye.
Alderwoman Tyus, Alderwoman Switzer,
Aye.
Alderwoman Sanye,
Aye.
Chairwoman Boyd.
Aye.
4
Okay,
ayes.
thank you. The meetings have been approved. And so the sponsor for Board Bill 36 asked that we hold her bill until she does more research and have more speakers to come to talk in regards to her bill. And so I'm going to go to item number 1 for resolutions, because I'm kind of move out of order because these young ladies and this young man have been waiting. So I'm gonna take care of our business with them, and then we can move on the Board Bill 40, if that's okay with everybody. Okay, so we have item number 1, Mental Health Board. And so Madam Clerk, would you please read that board bill, the introduction?
The committee will discuss the mayoral appointments to the Mental Health Board, Mr. Ronald Griffin, Mario Hamill, and Linda Grayson.
Okay, so I see Mr. Mario Hamill and I see Ms. Grayson here. So we don't have Mr. Griffin? He's not here? Okay. All right. So how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking.
Okay, I'm gonna ask for, before you all make a statement, I'm gonna ask that the clerk swear you all in so you can make so you can talk about why we should vote for you to be on the mental health board.
Problem.
She's trying to get together.
I'm sorry, I missed that, Chairwoman.
Well, if I couldn't, Madam Clerk, we had to change that. I believe it's you, as chairperson, you have to do the swearing in. The clerk can no longer do that. They found out there was a little kink in the rules.
Yeah.
So you'll have to swear in the speakers.
Oh, when they changed that one?
About 2 weeks ago.
Oh my God. Okay, all
All
right. Okay, could you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear the statements you are making are true and the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right. Okay. All right. So Miss Grayson, we can let you go first. And you can kind of explain why, make a statement on why you feel that you will be a good reappointment, and how long have you been on the mental health board?
I have been on the mental health board since I believe 2010 or 2011. So I have been fortunate to see the progress I think that the board and the staff has made. I think it's a much more involved board now and a lot more into the projects that we are funding. When I moved to St. Louis 30 years ago for my job. When I retired, I felt that then I had the time to really give back. My job didn't really allow a lot of extra time and I traveled a lot. So I feel that this is giving back and that everybody should support their community or their city or wherever they live. And I think that mental health and children's services are very big issues for the city of St. Louis. There's money, as I'm sure you all know. And it's important that we try to get the most worthy projects that are going to do the greatest amount of good for the citizens. And that is really my objective on being on the board, is to help to define what programs might work the best or have the best results and channel our limited monies to them.
All right. I'll go to the committee. Does any of the committee have any questions? Alderman Balmer?
No questions, Ms. Grayson. Thank you for your past service and for your willingness to continue in this role. It's very, when people want to give back to the community, it's a wonderful thing, and thank you for your dedication. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Alderwoman Schweitzer?
Thank you so much. And yeah, thank you for being here and for your service and for all you've done. I'm looking at your resume. It sounds like you've been in leadership positions on the board, and I know that's a big responsibility. I've spent some time looking at the website and the different initiatives, and there's some information about them on the website. Is there a place to see on the website somewhere where every dollar of the money is going and who's getting it, and sort of any performance metrics that you have?
I don't believe it's on the website, but I am sure that the staff on of the Mental Health Board could give of our current organizations that are funded. They do every 6 months, they do evaluate how they organizations are meeting their goals. And we do take that into account if organizations are being asked to be funded for further years or have a new project. I think that we have just hired somebody who is going to, their job is going to be to evaluate the programs and to see which have done the best, not just what the organizations say they have done, but really try to have put a clear analysis of what money is doing the most good. And I think that is another step in the growth of the Mental Health Board, from the time certainly that I started on it, of trying to really get the most bang for our buck, I mean, to put it bluntly, and that will do the most good, because the are tremendous.
Right. Yeah, I appreciate that. And I think, more information is always helpful, especially since, it's tax dollars, and knowing where the money is going, how it's being spent, and any reviews that are happening is something I think people want to see, especially, as a kind of outside of government, yet still government, agency. Okay, I appreciate your time. It doesn't look like your background is in mental health, but you have a really kind of storied career. I'd love to know a little bit more about how you in particular got involved, as a specific passion, or this board in general.
So as you can tell from my resume, I was in retail. I worked for May department stores, but I had a friend who was on the Mental Health Board, and she knew that I wanted to do some more active involvement in the city, and she recommended that I talk to Don Kubo. Don was the executive director at that time, and I did talk to him, and he asked me to join the board, and that's how I joined. And you are correct, my background is not in. I didn't know as much about it. I have had to learn a great deal about it, and also, of course, children's services, which I am very interested in, because I have just always felt children are the ones who suffer the most in a lot of situations, and so helping improve their lives or is important to me for the city to continue to grow.
Thank you. Thank you for that. No more questions. Thanks for the time.
Thank you. Alderwoman Sonia.
I don't have any questions. Just thank you for your service and willingness to be on the
Thank
board.
you.
I do have some questions, Ms. Grace. And how long have you sat on the mental health board?
I think I joined in 2010 or 2011.
Okay, that's a long time. And do you know how they are recruiting? Because I'm trying to make sure this is the same mental health board that they were recruiting online and stuff, trying to recruit people to sit on their board, looking for board members. Is this the same one?
Yes, I believe so. We have a nominating committee that vets any people that are interested in joining the board. In some cases, we have to have a doctor on the board. That's part of our charter. We do have a doctor who is an emergency room physician at Barnes Jewish, Rob Poirier, who's excellent. And the committee has been really helpful in trying to balance the board in terms of making sure that there is someone from every part of the city. That it's not just people that live in South City or Central West End or inner city or whatever, but that we have people from all over the city. And I believe with a lot of our new board members, we have achieved a better balance.
Okay, and so and I'm just asking a question because I'm trying to get clarity. When, as a board member, does the staff or the executive board kind of give you all, I'm kind of on the page where Alderwoman Schweitzer is, do they kind of give you a breakdown of what organizations receive dollars and
Oh, yes, we vote on them. So grants are usually for 3 years.
Okay,
And so every 3 years, we go through a process. The organizations that are looking for grants submit a proposal. And the staff reads them. And they make comments and they rank them, basically. Then each of us is on a team. And we get a set number of proposals to read, because the proposals are very involved. And if you read more than about 8 to 10 of them, you would never get through it probably in a decent amount of time. So each team has about 10. And the members of the board read those 10. We do our own ranking. We have our own questions. Then we have a team meeting where we kind of hash out who we feel should be from our group should get the grants. And so then we meet as a total board and vote on all the projects that have been recommended. And then at that point, any member of the board can also bring up a group that was not recommended, and we will relook at that group. But we vote on exactly who is getting the money. Then the staff really takes over. Of course, they draw up the legal paperwork and all of that, but then they liaison with the group and they do regular evaluations of how the group is doing against what the stated goals of their grant were. So we know exactly where every dollar goes. Yes, I can't tell you right, but I guarantee you we do know where the money is going.
Okay, all right. I see Alderwoman Sonia had a question.
It was really a follow-up question to what Alderwoman Schweitzer and Alderwoman Boyd both lifted up. I just wondered if there might be any timeline estimates for when, like, I know you said the information is not available online. Are there conversations happening around that? And I know you said that you guys are in the process of hiring someone to help you analyze like data and reviews. Do you know like what the timeline is or where you guys are in that hiring process?
I believe we have hired a person. I don't know if they have started yet. They were not introduced at the last board meeting, so I have a feeling that perhaps they have not actually had started by the board meeting that was held in May. So, but the staff does have a very good understanding of what groups are doing and where they are, and a lot of that comes out in the annual report of accomplishments that have been made in the city. So I think you would have to, for the type of information and the specifics that you're talking about, if you contacted the board, I'm sure, I mean, the staff, the executive director, Cassandra Kaufman, I am sure that you would be able to get the information that you are looking for.
And is there a way that we could have, maybe as a committee, even just see what for that person who was hired or brought on to do the work, like, I'm sure they had a job listing or a job description or, things that say, here's specifically what we're looking for this person to do. Is there a way that maybe we could get that as a committee?
I don't know, but again, I think that the staff would have to be the one that would answer that for you. So I think if you contacted Cassandra, she would be the one that would be most helpful. She wrote the job description.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Next we have Mr. Mario Hamill. Mr. Hamill, how
Yes,
you
ma'am.
doing
Good morning.
today? Good
I'm pretty
morning.
good. Pretty good. Have my espresso, so I'm good to go for today.
Okay. And so I'm gonna have you kind of say how long you've been there and why you want to get back on and
All right. Yeah. So actually 2023 was my first year on the board. Was appointed in January of last year. So just now getting my feet wet with the board. Had a great opportunity to sit in on what Ms. Linda was stating in regards to the proposals that were provided by certain organizations to see how the funding is allocated throughout the city. Was able to get through that process and understand really where the funds are allocated, and more importantly, figuring out what organizations could benefit the city best. And having a hand in that, which has played a big part for me. The reason I joined the board and why I want to continue on the board. So in 2021, and I'm trying to get choked up, but my brother passed away from a drug overdose. And for me, it was kind of like, hey, could I have helped him out or thought of some programs or anything that I can get him involved in that can help him with his issues? And by then it was too late, right? So now I figure like, hey, let me go ahead and try to help the city and try to help more individuals who may be going through something, and helping organizations who can put people in positions to where they can better themselves. So for me, that was part of the biggest driving initiative for me to want to join the board, to be able to, again, help citizens of the city and try to get them the help and the treatment that they need, whether or not it's with mental health related services or drug treatment services, you name it. You're just really trying to help the city and put it in a better place. So that's the biggest driver for me wanting to rejoin the board again.
okay. I'll let my committee ask questions. My vice chair, Alderman Balmer.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Hamill, thank you again for your service. So sorry for your loss. And
Thank you.
I guess from everything, something, creates a dedication that maybe this will be beneficial for so many others. So thank you for taking this opportunity to put yourself in this position. Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you.
Alderwoman Schweitzer.
Hi, thank you for being here, and thank you for sharing that moving story with us and for your dedication to the issues. You said you started in, did you say 2023 in this board?
Yeah, so my first year was last year with the board.
Okay, so you just had a 1-year term, or?
Yeah, 1 year.
Okay. Any specific experiences or funding, organizations that received funding that you felt really good about?
I have to go back and look at the list that we actually had for them. That's why I don't have my notes here, because like it was 10, 12 applications that we had to review and go through. But off the top of my head, I don't have any that I can speak to right now without going back and looking at my previous notes. I wasn't prepared for that. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. So, and you are in the healthcare industry, or what's your kind of
Yeah, so I work for HCA, the Hospital Corporation of America. I work in revenue cycle management, which is pretty much like the back office billing for hospitals. But I am passionate about mental health. especially in the African American community, where it's kind of like a stigma around not wanting to be able to speak to someone or not going to see counseling or anything like that. And hey, it's fine to talk to someone, right? Being able to get that out as opposed to bottling it up. And then with bottling it up, you have issues that arise, whether or not it's violence or you name it. So for me, not necessarily working in the mental health realm, but being passionate about that. And I myself, I see a therapist also too, as well, just be able to talk and just get things out. So that's my piece in regards to like mental health. So I don't have any background in working in mental health, but revenue cycle management, I work in like the hospital piece of like administration for hospitals.
Okay. And none of the hospitals you work for have ever gotten funding from this board?
No, they're located all over the country and none in St. Louis area.
Okay. Thank you for answering my questions. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Alderwoman Schweitzer, just talk, didn't you? Alderwoman Sonia.
LOL, we look alike. Thank you for your service, and what you know, I always like whenever we have pain and we turn into power. So thank you for that and sharing that story for us. I guess I'm just curious like about your general experiences for the year. Like, what has been the greatest thing that you feel like as a board you all have been able to accomplish? Is there any initiative that you're most looking forward to seeing move forward?
I'm passionate also about just the children aspect of thing. I have two little ones, so being able to again help with funding for services around the city for children initiatives, I'm on board with that too as well. So I'm looking forward the most to that going into this year. Like last year, I just really didn't know what to expect from the board. I knew I wanted to drive and help with the city, but being able now to understand really all the ins and outs of how it goes right now. But going into this year, looking at the funding and really what we can do around the city to help with the, like I said, the children piece, I'm looking forward the most to that.
No, it makes a lot of sense. I feel the same way about being older. For like the first year, I've spent just learning how all the things work and have a much better idea of like things to focus on. So thank you with that. I have no further questions, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you. I hear what you're saying, and I appreciate you telling us the reasoning why, because a lot of times when it's a personal attachment, you're more committed because you have you're on a mission to help someone else. And so that's powerful to me. But I tell people in my community continuously for years, people don't wake up to do drugs. It's something that they're trying to null the pain of so they can get past the day. And so I think it's critical that the mental health board is more public, because as Ms. Grayson said, in our communities, it was always said, what happens in your house stays in your house. And it shouldn't be like that. People should feel comfortable to talk. And they're starting to do it more, but we need to be more aggressive with it to help people to kill those pains that they have layers of they're trying to uncover. So I applaud you because you wanted to come back to do it again, because you feel that it's something else that you need to accomplish, to make sure that you can help someone else. And I appreciate that. So does any other committee people have any questions for them? Now, this Ronald Griffin, they did not show. So I'm gonna lean to my vice chair. We would have to say we would not vote for that person, but the other two we would, correct?
You have the ability to vote as chair if you would like to have a vote held. If he's been a past member and has a long record, and if you're familiar with him, you have that opportunity to present anything you know about the person to us. I
don't know. I don't know.
Okay, at that point, we would put him on hold and have him for a reappointment another time.
Okay.
At this point, the two were present, and it would not be a denial, it would just be a hold of the confirmation.
Okay, and so that's the road we would go. We would hold the confirmation of Mr. Ronald C. Griffin, but I would move to do a vote for Mario Hamill and Miss Linda Grayson.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Previous roll.
Okay, I hear previous row. I hear no objections. So congratulations, Mr. Hamill and Ms. Grayson. We have nominated you to serve again. So we look forward to the work that you all will be doing. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
very
guys.
much for your time.
Next we have item number 2, Development Disability Resource Commission. Madam Clerk, would you introduce that one to us, please?
The committee will discuss the appointment to the Developmental Disabilities Resource Commission, Ms. Selena Washington.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Washington, for your patience and waiting for us to get past our procedures so we could get to you. So you want to be on the Development Disability Resource Committee. So could you kind of explain to us why and how long you have been on that committee?
I have not been on that committee before. My work, I am an occupational therapist and I am an associate professor at St. Louis University. I've been an occupational therapist for 23 years and I moved into academia about 7-ish years ago, full time. And I have always had a love for our citizens who are, just living with disability and also wanting to have full lives. And so I know that's what the DD Resources is all about in their funding and who they sponsor. And our missions kind of aligned. I do a lot of work around the city. I'm grant funded with HUD, with other federal agencies that specifically does work with adults who are aging with disability. That's my area of focus. And so this was a perfect opportunity to have a service, more of a service component to the work that I'm already doing. And so I was excited when Shalene brought this opportunity to me and how we could possibly partner together. I've been working with the Down Syndrome Association of Greater St. Louis for the past 3 years, working on education, working on talking to families, doing home modifications, making sure that environments are safe for our adults who are aging with disability. And so this was a really natural fit to possibly become part of one of the boards that makes some bigger decisions for agencies such as those.
Okay, thank you. I'll turn it over to my committee, my vice chair.
All right, thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Washington, thank you so much. You seem to be overqualified for this position. Thank you for your willingness to serve. And I guess having served on some boards and seeing what happens today, welcome to the minutia of serving on a board.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
But thank you for your service. You have thank you. No questions.
Alderwoman Switzer.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. I know you'll just be joining the board and I'm looking at the board's website now and just learning more about it. And there's a lot of information about where the money is going every year and annual reports are posted. And I appreciate that. Have you had a chance to spend some time looking at what this organization has funded in the past and anything you're particularly excited about being involved with?
Oh, yes, definitely. So I know that, like I said, the Association for Down Syndrome, but also looking at St. Louis Art, looking at other agencies around the city that help individuals live as independently as they want to and as they can. And I'm excited about how to support that as a rehab professional, but then also excited of how to get our future people who will be working within this field with people who are aging with disabilities and also children. Let me not bypass that, how to support them in fulfilling those roles within their lives. So yes, I have, and it's been great work that they've been doing for the last few years since Shalene has taken over.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you coming today and sharing about your background, and I look forward to supporting you today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Alderwoman Sonia.
Thank you. All of my questions have been answered. Just thank you for your willingness to serve, for your passion, and really trying to find a service component, because it could be easier to kind of focus on things more in our career and our professional industry. So I really applaud you for also trying to make sure that there is a service component, that some of your work can reach folks, even folks who might not be paying for them. And I hope that your service on the board will lead to more agencies being connected who are doing work in that same arena, because I do feel like it's definitely a growing population, and not a lot of conversation happens with disabilities in general, but certainly with older folks with disabilities. So thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Washington, you don't even look like you're that old to be doing anything for 23 years. I'm just letting you know. You
Oh,
look,
thank you.
I was like 23 years. That's a long time to be doing something. So you don't look that old, but I'm honored to hear your compassion that you have in regards to people with disabilities. And I think a lot of times we forget those people, and it's not just seniors that are disabled. And so I think that's pretty good that you want to be a part of that, to continue the work that you're doing. So on that note, I can ask for a motion to accept Ms. Washington on the Disability Resource Commission.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second.
Previous row.
Previous role.
All right. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Ms. Washington. Okay, so the next bill is Board Bill number 40, and this is a grant through the Forestry Commission, Department of Parks. And so, Madam Clerk, would you please read the introduction?
An ordinance authorizing the city of St. Louis by and through its Forestry Commissioner of the Department of Parks, Recreation, and Forestry to accept a grant award from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Forest Service, Urban and Community Forestry Inflation Reduction Act Grant Program in the amount of $8 million to expend those funds for tree pruning, removal, and all aspects of tree maintenance in the city of St. Louis, appropriating such funds and authorizing the Commissioner of Forestry, Division of Parks, Recreation, and Forestry to expend funds as permitted by the grant award contained in emergency clause.
Thank you. And so could my vice chair take over from me to do this bill?
Certainly, ma'am. All right, Board Bill number 40, Alderwoman Boyd, you are recognized.
Thank you. Committee, this bill will bring $8 million into our city to address the trees, not only for our public right-of-ways, but for areas in communities that have been deprived, that needed to get those services in regards to removal of trees because of storms in our city. And so this $8 million will take us to an advantage, because this is something that forestry itself did not have the dollars to do that. And the city didn't have those dollars to put into the trees. And as a lot of my colleagues know, I have been really pushing for seniors that have trees in their communities that have fallen, and they can't even begin to afford to take those trees and get them cut down. So I'm hoping this bill would help in that aspect also. And then it will help us in regards to forestry to get trees cut down in our community, because we still have trees that haven't been cut down that were sick trees, the ash trees that they were on their campaign to try to clean that up, and they could not get that done because they didn't have the dollars. But maybe this will help in regards to hiring tree trimmers, because I don't know if people that heard the budget committee yesterday, that was the biggest challenge for forestry, to have tree trimmers, because they don't have the manpower to cut the trees down. So this grant could probably help that piece also.
All right. With that, I will open up to any questions from the board. Alderwoman Schweitzer, any questions of the sponsor?
Thank you so much. I had heard about this grant for the IRA funding being awarded to St. Louis and was really excited about it, especially regarding the ability for the forestry to address some of the climate change needs that we have in St. Louis, including dealing with things like extreme heat and just resilience efforts. So I think that's really, really exciting. I wanted to just, I guess, give we've had a few bills come back through the Board of Aldermen recently that also needed to have passed at ENA or passed differently at ENA, and we've had to redo them, including our ARPA bill. I've had a water rate bill to do that. Shane Alderman Cohn had something like that. So, with the bill I'm carrying, I had to make, check in for next week that it's passed through ENA so we can perfect it, and it hasn't yet. So it's like, I just want to make sure we get this money as soon as possible.
Right.
So it's not, you don't need my advice. I would just say as a warning, we've had like 4 bills that didn't pass right through, both sections of our government, and we need to like not let that happen anymore. So I just I've been burned by this. So that's why I wanted to say that out loud to you today. Because I just think this is so important and I want to make sure it passes quickly. So thank you for carrying it. Thank you for your work, and thank you for listening to me. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Alderwoman Schweitzer. Alderwoman Saunier, any questions of the sponsor?
No questions to the sponsor, but may I be added as co-sponsor?
Certainly, Sharita, please make note of that.
I would love to be a co-sponsor as well. Thank you.
All right,
Oh,
thank
no.
you. All right, well, I don't want to be the one left out, so sure, you can put my name on there also. So we'll pass this, well, I can't pass it in bank, but as Alderwoman Tyus is not here, but please add me as a co-sponsor. And Alderwoman Boyd, no questions of you. Naturally, yes, trees, trees, trees. We spend all our time talking trees and trash. So it's nice to get off the trash for a day. Thank you so much. So with that, I'll let you close.
And again, I'll ask for favorable consideration of Board Bill 40 from my committee.
All right.
I make a
With
motion.
that, I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we pass Board Bill 40 with the due pass recommendation.
Second, previous roll.
All right, hearing no objection to previous roll, we have passed out Board Bill number 40 by the sponsor with a due pass recommendation. Next, do I need a roll call, I guess? Previous roll, I'm getting old. Okay, with that, I will turn it back over to the chairwoman.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. And so I want to thank the committee for your patience this morning. And thank you all for hanging in there with us, because we have the best committee. So I'm not going to put that out there so everybody will know. And on that note, for excuse, we excuse Alderwoman Tyus. Do we have any announcements? Okay.
I would just announce that we do have the budget meeting, a community budget meeting this Saturday at 10 a.m. at the International Institute.
Okay. All right. Any other announcements?
You just have to ask Sharita if we have any written testimony on file for any of these.
Do we have any written testimony on these appointments and the bills?
Give me just a second.
Just trying to keep it legal.
Thank you. You keep me on point.
No, there are no written testimonies or comments.
All right. Thank you. Okay. On that note, I'll ask for an adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Previous roll.
You all have a good morning. See whoever at the next meeting.
Thank you all.